Rockstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to yet another episode of the Robstar Report. And boy, do I have a good one for you. This has been daunting on my mind. I've watched a lot of podcasts talking about Bryce Young. Of course, this is it going into his third year. We've talked about it a couple times. And I've seen a lot of podcasts, like I said, a lot of other YouTube channels, a lot of other Panther content creators have their say, right? And everybody does. Everybody has their opinion, and everybody's right to their opinion, man. All right. Everybody's right to their opinion. Okay. But I feel like when I listen to some of these YouTubers, podcasters, we've got people, they got other people in their ear saying he's not the guy, and all this stuff. Today we're going to add context into everything we talk about tonight. And I think that's a lot of things that I've noticed from other YouTubers, other podcasters. There's not a lot of context. Most of the time I've watched it, it's like a lot of fucking yelling. It sounds like a bunch of high school girls fighting over Timmy, the hot football player. Okay? Whatever you want to call it. It just sounds like a bunch of high school drama. I don't have time for that. Me personally, I can't stand it. Listen to grown men just bark at each other. It's not my cup of tea. Now, we can have a conversation. It's a different story, but yelling back and forth, you're not going to get anywhere with me. Just to be honest with you. But we're going to really dive into this. We're really going to dive into this. Because when you listen to these other people speak, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and then there's just a lot of nonsense, and then there's a lot of logical sense. I give it. Okay. We're going to dive into it from basically his rookie year to where we are now. I've got a PowerPoint slide put up together for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay. So make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell. We've got over 16 people watching. We only have 4 likes. We should have already 16 likes, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get those likes up. It takes 1 second to do so. I would greatly appreciate it if we could go ahead and get those likes up. Okay. The more likes we have, the more people show up, man, the more the algorithm gets out there. Also, we're going to set a super live goal. If we reach the super live goal, plus we're almost to 6,000 subscribers, by the way. We're only 9 subscribers from 6K. All right. 9 subscribers from 6K. That's it. What's up, Underground West? Appreciate you joining at Vietnam. What's good? When are the OTAs? OTAs start next week. I'm pretty sure it's May 27th. I think the start date's May 27th, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'll be breaking down OTAs every single day. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you joining, man. This year will show us if he's the guy. For sure. We're going to dive more into that. What's going on, Earl? Appreciate you joining. Dang, again, King JP, welcome back, man. It's been a while since I've seen you in here. It's been a while since I've seen you here. Appreciate you joining, my guy. Appreciate you joining. Love to see you in the chat, brother. Hope all is well. Palmetto Pay that says, congrats on 6K. We're almost there, man. We are almost there. Oh, shit. Shout out to King JP already coming in hot with that $5 donation. I appreciate you, King JP. You will definitely be added on to that giveaway once we break it down. Once we reach 6K, ladies and gentlemen, on subscribers, we also got a live goal. Maybe I'll do 2 giveaways. If we reach 6K and we reach the live goal, maybe I'll do 2 giveaways. All right. So appreciate you, King JP, for coming through. And of course, just dropping a nice little 5-piece right there, like a 5 McNugget from Mickey D's.
Another one.
Yeah, let's get another one. W donation. Yes, spam the chat with King JP. All right. Let's dive into it, man. Let's dive into this bad boy. All right. Without further ado, let's bring this up. Okay. Here we go. All right. From benched to balling. Okay. Let's start off with this. Let's start off with we're gonna go into his rookie year. But let's just start off with this. Like the 2020, I'll say this: the 2024 season, ladies and gentlemen. I felt like when we go watch his tape last year, it wasn't just a football story. I felt like it was like a human story, like a professional reckoning, almost like a public undressing. Then it was just followed by like a quiet resurrection. Like it wasn't always pretty. Hell, at times it was just straight up brutal. Hell, at times I felt like this was game over for this kid, but it was real, and that's a fact. And now we're in a new season that's on the horizon. I mean, expectations should be as high as ever because it's time. I feel like we need to have this talk tonight about what actually happened from chapter 1 to chapter, 7, 8, 9. All right. We're going to call these chapters tonight. Okay. This is a story. Okay. We're putting this story out there. Like, we're going to talk about what actually happened, how it happened, and what the hell it all means going forward. What we're breaking down tonight is the story about Bryce Young, the turnaround he had. We're going to talk about the fall. We're going to talk about how he got back up, steady walking towards something bigger. Okay. Chapter 1, thrown into the fire unprepared. Let's be honest. Can we not say that he was thrown in the fire unprepared? In his first year? I mean, I feel like we can say that. I feel like I can say that very, very confidently. Because let's be blunt here. Bryce Young's rookie season was an absolute fucking dumpster fire. And it was like you were in a hurricane or in a tornado and it just kept swirling and you couldn't get the fuck out. You're stuck. And that's what he was in. He was in a tornado. Right? He was, get it, drafted first overall, 2023. Panthers sold their mortgage to go get him. When he arrived, it automatically became chaos, dysfunction. You had 4 offensive play callers in one season. Technically, only 2. Well, no, 4. Technically, if you think about it, because Frank Wright was fired before December, and you had a roster so devoid of talent. I mean, it felt like you cannot tell me that the talent on this team was. It almost felt like the talent on this team was like borderline just cruel. You had no offensive line. You had no consistent weapons besides a 32-year-old Adam Thielen at the time, 31, 32, however old he is. And then and a team identity that was non-existent. You think about, here's an analogy for you. I heard this one the other day. At my job. Okay. I heard this one the other day at my job. right? You can't, and here's a perfect analogy. You can't build a skyscraper on sand. Now, can you? Because I'll tell you right now, Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium was an absolute beach of bad decisions. And no wonder the kid struggled. Of course he did. What did anyone expect? He didn't look confident. He didn't have time to throw. He didn't have anyone to throw to. You had two, again, I'll bring up a statistic for you. You had two of the top 10 worst wide receivers of creating separation that year in his rookie year, DJ Chark and Jonathan Mingo. Your offensive line allowed 63 sacks. You fucked up Brian Burns' contract, so you couldn't re-sign him the next year anyways. And then also on top of that, let's talk about the Brian Burns situation too. You could have already probably had the quarterback situation figured out before Bryce Young if you would have taken the trade Scott Fitterer for the 2 first-round draft picks, including a future second. If I'm not mistaken, it was a future third, whatever it was. Let's not forget about that. You want to add context and you want to really dive deep into this. Let's really dive fucking deep. Because I'm talking about all those people that just say this kid's bad. Because let's add context. Be logical with yourself. I'm not saying that the kid's the fucking savior, and I'm not saying he's the guy yet. Okay? Am I a Bryce Young believer? He made me a believer those last 12 weeks of the season last year. Am I a full-blown believer? I have some doubts. I'd give myself probably an A, 75, 80%. And that's just my opinion. Just like you have your opinion for those that do not believe in Bryce Young. That's fine. But I can have my opinion whether you like it or not, the way I want to have my opinion or not, whether I'm fully in or fully out. I can have 1 toe in and 10 toes out, 9 toes out. That's not for you to decide. So let me make that perfectly clear for some of you. Most definitely King JP. Most definitely. But here's the thing. Another thing, too, if we want to add more context into that, is on top of everything I just said in his rookie year, he had people pulling him, multiple voices in his ear on top of that. Okay? Then you have the whole multiple coordinators. So, again, of course he struggled. What did you expect between everything I just explained? How could a guy look confident out there with everything? Didn't have time to throw. Didn't have anyone to throw to. Again, his stats were underwhelming. I get it. But stats cannot just be the full story, ladies and gentlemen. The wins and losses cannot be the full story, ladies and gentlemen. The whole thing looked busted from the beginning to the end. The shine from the number 1 pick labeled started to fade so fucking fast. It's not even funny. And here's the thing. There was doubt and a lot of it. And you kind of had some right to be. And the national media wrote him off as a bust in progress. Hot takes flared. Talking heads questioned his size, his durability, his ability to lead. That's not entirely unfair. You know, he looked like a guy overwhelmed by a tidal wave of just the whole NFL reality. And the whole reality. Like, here's the thing about Bryce Young. Nobody saw until later. He's the same guy every damn day. Unshaken, relentless, even keeled. a walking metronome of just quiet confidence. The kind of person who doesn't flinch when the building's on fire, not because he's just unaware, but because he's already studied the fire escape map. He's got it in his mind. The kid's smart, you can tell. And that kind of mindset was about to be tested like it never was before. I'm going to get to some of your comments real quick. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream because I do want to get to some of your comments as I'm going through this. It's not just going to be a rant, okay? Most of this is going to be a rant tonight, but it's going to be a good rant. And I think a lot of people are really going to hopefully take a lot from this. I'm going to get to some of these. Let's start off with you, Trav. I would think that he endured and persevered. Should have made Panther Nation love this kid. The kid hate comes from people who wanted to be right, who didn't believe in him. And I'll be honest with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. When we traded up, because I knew there was so much, when we made the trade with the Bears, I wasn't a Bryce Young fan. I didn't want Bryce Young. I'll be honest. I wanted Anthony Richardson because I saw the big arm, the big size, the athleticism. I saw everything I needed to see. Accuracy, I knew was going to be an issue, but I figured, hey, if Cam Newton came into the league with accuracy issues with the same style of play of Anthony Richardson had, I was like, okay, sure, this guy can pan out. I'll say Bryce Young's better than Anthony Richardson, though. Now, we'll see. Anthony Richardson's got some new glasses. Maybe the accuracy may be there. He looks like a tatted up Lenora Sellers out there. It's kind of funny. What's up, SC Panthers Boy 803? But I do think they tried to help him with his rookie year, though. But the free agent sightings to bring the most experience. Yeah, it didn't mesh well. I think there was too many. Again, that was the thing, JP. Too many egos. Too many people in the lunchroom. Too many people in the break room. Too much gossip. Makes me sick listening to those panels with guys just bashing Bryce. Yep. And they just say, well, he's bad. He stinks. Whatever. Undergrad of the West. I couldn't believe he was standing after the rookie season. He got sacked so many times. Tough kid. Exactly. I gave up on Bryce, but through his play, he made me a believer again. Gotcha. Honest opinion, Clay. I respect it. Appreciate that, JP. I'm just here to speak facts and give you straight up honesty. Canales messed up last year by not playing the starters, getting them ready. Yep. I agree with that, Vietnam. Preseason, these guys need to be playing. Eric had it. We had idiots running the show. Listen to all sides respectfully, even though I'm not a believer. It's fair, JP. Listen, I don't think anybody can't. That's true. I mean, Cam wasn't as inaccurate as Auburn as a Rich was. Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm just saying they kind of had the similar flaws when you look at their pro comp breakdowns. I was looking at it when I was looking at Anthony Richardson. I see Frank's picture. Seeing Frank's picture up there gives me bad flashbacks. Am I giving you PTSD? But please leave it up as the reminder. Yeah. Alfredo, what's up, man? Raiders fan here, rooting for y'all and Bryce Young. I appreciate that, Alfredo. Appreciate that. Fade 926. I don't think the starter will practice with you. Earl Locklear, I don't think there's joint practice. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to chapter 2. Okay. Let's move on to chapter 2. All right, we got through the whole rookie season. We all talked about Scott Fitter. We talked about Frank Wright. We talked about all the bullshit, right? Okay. Then let's talk about the bench moment. Oh, I agree, JP. I saw a lot of Cam Newton in him, but just the athleticism way more than Cam for sure. Maybe not way, but maybe from an agile standpoint. From an agile standpoint, JP, agile and speed. I would say that more shifty. Like Cam was fast, but he was more bulky and could overpower you. Right. Okay, so this is chapter 2, the bench moment. So let's fast forward. We got through his rookie season. Let's fast forward to September 2024. You got a new head coach, Dave Canales, have been hired specifically to revive Bryce Young. Why, Bill? Because we heard about what he did in Seattle with being with Russell Wilson and Geno Smith and those guys, right? We heard about that, right? And then you heard about what he did in Tampa with Baker Mayfield. Okay. So this wasn't just a football pairing, it was a quarterback rehab mission. That's what it was. Okay. But right out the gate, again, first 2 games of the season, shit hit the fan. Game 1 in New Orleans, guess what Bryce Young's first pass was? A pick over the middle. Right to the safety. He looked rattled. I actually remember that play because I remember him coming off the field after he threw that pass. And I think it was Deontay Johnson that walked up to him after he threw that pass, dapped him up, and he was kind of like smirking. But you could tell when he threw that pass, game 1 in New Orleans, he looked rattled. And that offense was stalled. Game 2 was even worse. He had 26 passes, ladies and gentlemen, for 84 miserable yards. You know what that is? That adds up to 3.2 yards per attempt, folks. So for reference, you could just hand the ball off every play and do better because that's not an offense. That's a football funeral, what we saw there. So Canales had to make a decision. 2 games into the first season as a head coach with the eyes of the what we were at that point was a fed up fan base. Hole, and it was a burning hole in his back. He benched Bryce Young. Not just any quarterback. I guess you could say his quarterback, but what it was, is Bryce Young really Dave Canales' quarterback? Probably is now. We'll dive more into that here shortly, but the guy has entered operation. He entered into this operation and he was supposed to be built around. Okay. Was it controversial? A lot of people would say, hell yes. Was it necessary? I would also be one of those people that said, hell yes. Okay. Andy Dalton came in, did what he does, what all season vets do, stabilize things, has a good game, had a decent next game, managed the game, looked competent, didn't drown in the moment. Then Panthers suddenly look like a team that, didn't drown, looked like a team that knew what a first down was again, and I'll say that. And, for a while, it looked like Young might sit for a while, maybe a long while. I thought it was game over for him, to be honest. And then fate intervened, okay? Then fate intervened. And again, guess what? Because of a car crash, he's back in. And then he stayed in and he balled out. Right? Let me get to more of your comments before we dive into this next chapter, because now we're in chapter 3. Now we're in chapter 3. This is chapter 3. Back in and still balling out. Okay. I remember that first pass. I was like, no way. Yep. Same first pass like he did in Atlanta. It was crazy. OTA or I think. Yeah, it's coming up. Pupils rookies. Popple's rookie can confirm that he's the guy. Bryce showed flashes of who he could become after the benching. That's so funny. A bazooka trying to kill an ant. Kaboom! A bazooka trying to kill an ant. That is awesome. Never heard that one before. There goes that ant. There goes that ant right there. All right, so chapter 3. He gets back in. Andy Dalton got in a car accident. And then apparently sprained his thumb. We don't know if this was actually true or not, or this is just whatever it is. I don't know. Could be a conspiracy theory at this point, but he couldn't grip a phone, much less football, whatever. Just like that, the door swung open for Bryce. And at this time, I'll say this. I don't think Bryce just walked through that motherfucker. I think he kicked that damn door down. Because from the first drive, you could tell something had changed. Like, he wasn't attentive. He wasn't second guessing. He was cutting it loose. He was confident. He was calm. He was collected. The footwork was sharp. The decisions were quick. The poise returned. The numbers, that everything followed. But over those 10 final games, ladies and gentlemen, you can go look up the stats. Completed 61.8% of his passes, over 2,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Go look it up on Panthers Muse. Panthers Muse, M-U-S-E. That's 101. He had 101.9 passer rating, a number that, and I'm looking at the stats right now, like that's a number that screamed to me not just competence, but growth. Then in the last 3 games, okay, go look at that. He went full damn laser show. 7 touchdowns, no picks, 64.8 completion, right? Over 111.6 passer rating. Oh, and he also chipped in 100 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. What was most impressive, and I think there's a stat out there that nobody really talks about, is this. He led 6 drives in those 10 games. That either we were tied or won the game. So again, there was also some drops. There was also some miscues. Like the Xavier Legette letting I can't remember who the corner was for the Saints. He literally stripped the ball out of Xavier Legette's hand and became an interception. Xavier Legette dropped the ball right there in Philadelphia. Chuba Hubbard fumbling against Tampa. Xavier Legette dropping against the Chiefs. David Moore having some key drops as well. I mean, there's a stat out there right now, all over Twitter right now, that the amount of yards that Bryce Young had from drops was 210, put him number 1 in the league. 210 yards of drop balls. He was a top 10 quarterback in accuracy and big time throws. You can't teach that. Because you either have that kind of shit or you don't. And and it turns out he got it. You got, and here's the thing, man. And here's the thing. So he stayed balling out. And then what happened? When he started balling, then what happened? Then we got teammates. Always believe. And here we need to add that context into this because a lot of people don't talk about that. I mean, these guys were vocal, came out. Corbett, Trimble. You want to know how to make through a storm like what he was going through? You can't do it alone. Talk to anyone. I guarantee you talk to anyone in that locker room, they're going to tell you the same thing. Bryce never stopped being the guy, at least in their eyes. Maybe not yours. But from a veteran center standpoint, you got Austin Corbett to tackle Ike Ekwonu, to Robert Hunt, to tight end Tommy Trimble. The respect was never wavered. I mean, hell, Austin Corbett came out and said he handled everything like a fucking pro, basically. And then he even came out and said something like it was something that was along these lines where he was talking about how he got benched and how he stayed locked in and then came out firing like he did. And he was like something about like, the kid's got guts. I mean, you talk about the no look. I mean, here's another thing. You could tell the kid was having fun. Go back to the Atlanta game in the last week of the season. There was the no look pass to Tommy Trimble in the season finale. I mean, that's the exclamation point that's saying, hey, welcome. That's a welcome back moment with some swagger to it. Like, it's so thick, it could have been bottled up for some time. Turn around before the catch was made, point to the end zone, walk off like it's like it was a light work. That's what ballers do. That's what ballers do. Right, Kendall? Absolutely. It was over from there when he threw that one. And he probably could have played. I think they're going back to Bryce no matter what, honestly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, did they really want to go back to Bryce? Was it a conspiracy theory? Like, there's so many things you could dive into that whole situation with. More of understanding of what Dave wants after watching Andy. Plus, one underrated take is him running the scout team and being able to just relax to carve up the firstie as the opposing QB. What's up, T Cole? Appreciate you joining, man. I don't know if I've ever seen you on my channel. I appreciate you coming through, though, brother. Kendall says Deontay was also gone by that time, but BY came back. Yeah, he was. What else we got here? Bryce bounced back strong, looked like a different player for sure. We're going to dive more into it. We're going to dive in more into it. But why did he come back? And why did he come back and look so strong? Why did he come back and why did he come back and look so strong? Can anyone tell me? Because this is why. I think we find stability. Finally, maybe we actually have fucking stability here. He had time to sit and watch. Bryce Young agent was the driver in the other car. Love it. Because here's the thing about football, man. I'll tell you this. Success starts at the top, whether y'all believe that or not. And then it trickles down. Did I not just explain the whole Scott Fitterer situation at the beginning? Do we need to reiterate the whole Scott Fitterer situation of an incompetent GM? Do I need to explain that to you guys again? Because for the first time in a long time, I'll tell you this, the Panthers actually finally have some continuity between a GM and a head coach. Dan Morgan, everybody was like, oh my God, he was under the same regime with Scott Fitterer. He's just going to do the same damn thing. I can tell you right now, Dan Morgan ain't the same fucking retard that Scott Fitterer was. Because Scott Fitterer was an incompetent GM that couldn't fucking find talent to save his ass, couldn't pull a decent contract out of his ass. And then what else couldn't he do? Couldn't draft worth a shit either. And then he would sell your whole family just to get a player that wasn't worth a damn. And then everybody complains about how Dan Morgan didn't do any, was a part of that, but yet we're 2 years behind Dan Morgan already, and Dan Morgan's done 10 times more than what freaking Scott Fitterer could do. But we also had an owner that might have finally taken a back seat. But here's another thing is you got Dan Morgan back. The key word here with these two guys is back. You have a head coach that is back. You have a GM that is back. Bryce Young right now is the unquestioned QB1. The offensive line returns intact. Chuba Hubbard is joined by Rico Dowdle in the backfield. Plus, you got Trevor Etienne now. Adam Thielen provides that veteran presence. You got Xavier Legette coming back. You got rookie T-Mac, who's going to bring that go up and get it type of player, who's going to bring some juice. High ceiling type of, this is a wide receiver room that's such a high ceiling wide receiver room. It's insane. I mean, Jimmy Horn Jr., the sky's the limit for that kid right now. Hunter Renfrow coming back. Thank you, Domo Smith. Yeah, that's another thing. You got Brant Tillis coming back. You got him back as well. Guy who actually knows how to work a contract. You know what I mean? Knows how to actually work the NFL system correctly, at least from a money and contract standpoint. Right? This isn't a rebuild anymore, ladies and gentlemen. In my eyes, this is the beginning of possibly a real damn team. And Bryce, he knows what this moment means now. Right? He came out and he said something along the lines where he was like, for me, it resets every year. And he said we finished strong last year, but none of that carryovers, and we've got to earn it again. He said something along those lines. So he's not buying into his own hype. So it doesn't matter if any YouTuber, any analyst, any podcast, he's not reading your headlines. He's not reading my headlines, much less any of you even haters' headlines or your tweets or your comments or even your fucking voice, because it doesn't matter. I don't matter to him. Maybe I matter to him as a fan, but he does. None of those guys care. None of those professional athletes care, man. They don't care what we think. But he's grinding like he's still the backup, because honestly, that's the kind of edge that got him back in the lineup to begin with. He needs to keep training like he's a backup and keep that mindset saying, hey, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. That's how you get better. The thing with Scott was that he was so aggressive that we as Panthers fans were not used to seeing that. It falsely excited us to point. We overlooked all the bad moves he was actually making. It was so bad, but Kendall was so bad. He was so bad that he plummeted, though. He took too many gambles that didn't really make. Number one, he took a lot of gambles that didn't really make sense, though, Kendall. You know what I mean? Some did, like the Gilmore move, the Hassan Reddick move, Louvu, some of the draft picks. I'll give him some of those. But if you're not hitting on 3 or 4 draft picks a year, you're not very good at scouting talent. So that could also be your scouting team that you brought in, but that's on you for hiring those people. Scott was throwing the kitchen sink on every deal. Yep. So we were so quick to throw the laser eyes on him that we didn't realize he was using them to burn down the stadium. T. Cole comes in and says the wide receiver core is really nice for years to come. Absolutely, T. Cole. Fans calling me crazy, but this year's offensive personnel is the best on paper we've seen in Carolina history. JP, that is a bomb take, man. That's a
bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong.
That's a bing bong take right there, my guy. Like,
damn, son, where'd you find this? Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's what type of take that is. That's what type of take that is. Not saying you're wrong. By any means, I'm not saying you're wrong. But damn. Mm-hmm. Dan Moore has been. I saw Bryce in a restaurant in December. He was wearing skinny jeans, a white hoodie. I couldn't get over how small and young he looked. It looked like Dan and Canals working together. Yep. The tight for Notre Dame could become your starting tight end. We'll see. I like Mitchell Evans. Reminds me a lot of Jason Witten. To be honest, that's who he reminds me of. I still think I'm a big believer in Jadavion Sanders, though, man. I love the athleticism he brings. He gets open. He knows how to create separation. You know, when he was coming out, he wasn't the best blocker, but he's getting better there. You know, but injuries last year, like him getting dropped on his head, didn't really help. You know what I mean? Good to know that we can handle that pressure of number 1 pick being benched. Came out swinging. Exactly, T. Cole. Exactly. Call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers. That's LL Cool J, by the way. Make no mistake about it. The NFL is an unforgiving league. We're in chapter 6 now, ladies and gentlemen. This is chapter 6. The NFL doesn't care where you were drafted. It doesn't care how famous you were in college. The NFL is one of those leagues, just like in any other professional sport, I believe too. It will eat you up alive, and it will spit you right back out where you belong, especially if you're not ready. And Bryce Young was very nearly from being digested and then just absolutely forgotten. But somehow he climbed out of that fucking shithole. Broski, not a lot. He does sometimes. I didn't see a lot of it last year. I felt like I saw it a little bit. I feel like I saw a little bit out of it last year. Maybe we'll see more out of it this year. But we'll see. I hope so, because I like the two. I like like running a 12 personnel, and I like the 2 tight end sets. And I honestly think it would fit Bryce very well, to be honest. But he climbed out of that shithole. He didn't complain about getting benched. He didn't post cryptic tweets. He didn't throw anyone under the bus. He just got better. And what we were watching those last 12 weeks wasn't just a quarterback growing up. It's a guy who is learning how to carry a franchise, how to lead through silence, how to answer critics by just fucking delivering. There is still a long way to go. Carolina isn't a finished product by any means. And I'm talking about from the team. I'm not talking about Bryce. I'm talking about from a team standpoint. Carolina is not a finished product. It's not ready to be put on the shelf and sold. Okay? The defense still has question marks for me. This coaching staff is young, but experienced. Again, and I hate to throw this out there, but knock on wood, ladies and gentlemen, but injuries happen. The league a lot of time adjusts. The NFC South is one of those ones that's just, it's always wide open. And it won't stay soft forever. One thing's for damn sure, the Panthers, I think now from a team standpoint, definitely have a shot. A real, tangible, exciting shot, because Bryce Young turned what looked like a career cliff into an absolute catapult. All right. But here is chapter 7. My expectations. These are my expectations right here from him. Because I want to be crystal clear about something. 2025, this isn't a grace year. This is not a tryout. It's not a development season. It's a progress season from the team as a whole. But for Bryce, this is the first time since Bryce has entered the league. There are very much higher expectations, I'll say. And they're not light. This isn't about hope anymore for me. This is the year about results. You have now surrounded this kid with multiple weapons. You have rebuilt the offensive line. You have stuck with the head coach who gets, guess what? Guess what he gets the most? He gets quarterbacks. He understands them. You add firepower after firepower in the draft. You snag smart free agents, and finally, they gave Young the kind of infrastructure a young quarterback needs. So now the leash is gone. The excuses are gone. The light is green. This is what has to happen in 2025 for me to consider success for Bryce Young, both as a player and as the face of the franchise. Brandon Hollum says you're close to 6K. Can we reach 6K? Seriously? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? I want to see where we're at. Where is it? Oh, fuck. Where are we at on the 6K? Where are we at on the 6K? 6K. Come on. We're only 7 subscribers away, by the way, guys. Have those fires outside Convoy been put out yet? Yeah, we've been good on that for a while, broski. Second, 2 first round draft picks, a veteran wide receiver, promising young pieces, JT Sanders, Coker, top 10 O-line from last year, 2 1K Warner Bucks. No quarterback in Panthers history has had this much to work with. Exactly. Year 3 is to put up or shut up time for a QB. The stakes are high for Bryce this season. King JB, you're right. I don't think Carolina has a quarterback that's had this much work with him. Yeah, give me a smart quarterback that knows how to dissect a defense. This is my expectations. Here's the thing. Number one, you got to lead a top 15 defense, ladies and gentlemen. It's point blank, period. Point blank, period. That's it. You don't need to be the Chiefs. But you sure as hell can't be the 2023 version of themselves. So you can't be the 2024 versions of yourselves. A team that made third down feel like a funeral. March, to be honest with you. So with Dave Canales' play calling, an offense dedicated to this offensive identity, Young needs to guide this unit into the top half of the league. That means efficiency. You got to sustain drives. You got to score touchdowns, and you got to be clutch on third down. This offense should be able to score 24 plus points per game. If Bryce can't get them there with the tools he's been given, that's a red flag. Why I say 25 touchdown passes. No ceiling, just a floor. Why do you think I said that? Because in 2024, he had 15 passing touchdowns in 10 games under Canales. We're going to say if he's healthy or if he's still playing like he was those last 12 games and he does that for a 17-game slate, 25 is the baseline. Because if you can do 15 and 10 and you've only got 8 games left the season, 25 should not be easy. So 25 is the baseline for me, not the ceiling. You got guys like Adam Thielen, just like JP said, because JP took the words right out of my mouth. You got 2 first-round draft picks and wide receivers. You got T-Mac, who can go up and get it. He can stretch the field. He can open up the middle of the field as well. He's can create separation. It definitely needs some route refinement, which we're seeing now. You got Jimmy Horn with the speed now, but I'm a huge Jimmy Horn fan now. But then, just like he says, you got a trusted vet in Adam Thielen. You got promising pieces with Jadavion Sanders and Coker as well. Okay. You got a top 10 offensive line last year coming back. You got 2 running backs with over 1,000 yards, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. There is no excuses now. You can't have excuses. You can't have excuses. Under 10 away from 6K. Yeah, Brandon. I'm literally 7 subscribers away from 6,000. The run game will be very important to help Bryce to have success, for sure. All right. If you think about it, a big step would be first to start every game this season. Let's see 35, 20 touchdowns. I think that's more realistic. Maybe I'm being tough on him, broski. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being really, really hard on him, but someone's got to. Like, I'm not going to baby him anymore. Yes, that's realistic for sure. I think that's definitely realistic, but I need you to prove me you're the guy, though. You're going into your 3rd season. That 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, that should have been last year. If we want to be totally honest. So there's no excuses for this offense to stall in the red zone. The plays are there. The matchups are there. The reads are cleaner. Bryce has to convert. You got to push 30 touchdowns, and you're not just growing. You're threatening Pro Bowl conversation. I need that. Fewer than 10 picks. Smarter, not safer. Let's talk about how Bryce Young plays real quick. When we talk about that final stretch in 2024 season, 2024 showed a guy who can balance aggression with precision. Aggression with precision. What does that mean? What he did was he took downfield shots. He attacked the seams. He didn't force throws in traffic. That's the growth you want to see. That's what you want to see. Now, in 2025, the goal, I'm sorry, I'm done baby-proofing this offense for you. It's time to run this like a surgeon. You're the surgeon. You need to be smart. You need to be efficient. You need to be lethal when needed. You need to have that 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. That should be on the table. Anything over 12 picks, questions about decision-making are definitely going to creep back in, ladies and gentlemen. I think they do. If that's the case, Broski, for sure. That's what I'm saying. I would like to see 28 plus touchdowns at least a season. I think it has to be a 3-to-1 ratio. I do. I'm just being completely honest, ladies and gentlemen. I have new subscribers. Yes. We are 3 subscribers away, Josh. We are 3 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. Appreciate it. That's why I'm saying fewer than 10 picks. There is no a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio should be on the table. Now, if you give me 2 picks, and listen, I'm not expecting him to go out there and throw 3 touchdowns and an interception again. If he goes out there and throws 2 touchdowns a game with 0 picks, I'm okay with that. If he goes out there and goes, throws 2 touchdowns a game, I'm okay with that. Even with 1 pick, but I'm talking about minimize the picks. Also, fewer than 10 picks. Again, you go over 12 picks for me, and questions and decision making will creep back. But again, we can also throw the Josh Allen narrative. You're talking about a guy who's an elite quarterback who throws a lot of picks, but he's also a gunslinger, and he also doesn't have the greatest wide receiver core in the NFL either. So they were all me. Appreciate that, Josh. How were they all you? Did you just make a bunch of different did you just make a bunch of different accounts or something? I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, we're only 3 subscribers away from 6,000. All right, let's talk about number 4. Win to 8-9 games minimum and be the reason why. I like that. Win to 8-9 games minimum, but you be the reason why. Why do I say that? Because this team doesn't need to make the playoffs for Bryce to be validated, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need this team to make the playoffs to be validated. But they damn sure can't go 5-12 again. With an improved defense, you got an easier schedule. I think you're tied for 5th. I think we're tied for 5th for the easiest schedule. Or what were we in the 7th spot? Something like that. I can't remember exactly. But you got more offensive structure like we just talked about. You should be flirting around the 500 or better. Bryce has to be the reason they're competitive. Not just the guy handing the ball off while the defense does all the work. No. If he can lead a few 4th quarter comebacks, win a couple of shootouts, show clear command of every aspect of this offense, then to me, he wins the year no matter what the final standings say. Okay? No matter what the final standings say. Yep. I mean, that's what I'm saying, JP. Like, he should have done it last year. If we're going to be completely honest. He should have done it last year. No, King JP knows his shit for sure. Last but not least, I need you to command the locker room. Whether you're loud or quiet, I don't care. Here's what doesn't get talked about enough, I think, about Bryce Young. He's a silent alpha. He doesn't scream. He doesn't throw tables, but he owns a room when he needs to. Because if we watched last year, we saw that. Now in 2025, the 2 seasons under his belt, a new core around him, it's time to step fully into a leadership role. That means more ownership in film rooms, more vocal direction on the sideline, accountability, fire when needed. He needs to continue to earn the respect of the fans, but also continue to get that respect in the locker room. I think he's already earned it already, but he needs to lean into it more. He needs to become what franchise quarterbacks do. They don't just call the play calls. Like franchise quarterbacks, they set the tone. They set the tone. So, can we finally answer this question? I'm going to say this. There is a big picture. Can he be the guy? That's the question. Can he be the guy? Here's the real expectations of 2025 for me. Prove me you're the guy. We don't have to keep looking for the guy. That's it. Prove to me you're the guy so we don't have to go looking for the guy. That's where I'm at. Prove to me you're the guy so I don't have to go looking for the guy. That's a mic drop. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm dropping the bomb on myself after that one. And you know what else I'm going to say to that?
That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
That's right. I'm going to say it one more time, chat, because it's a fire saying. Prove you're the guy so we don't have to keep looking for the guy. That's it. Carolina doesn't need Bryce Young to win the MVP. They don't need him to throw for 5,000 yards. They don't need him to be the rock, the foundation. Well, no, they need him to, what am I saying? I got ahead of myself there. They need him to be the rock. They need him to be the foundation. But here's the thing that I'm getting at. The quarterback who makes people stop scrolling. You know what I mean? You ever done that before? As you know, when the Panthers are on TV, the guy who makes teammates better, the guy who grows the city and grows into the face of the franchise, that's needed since Cam Newton left this building. 2025 is about cementing his place. So far, every sign points to him being ready to do just that. So bring it home, Bryce. No player in the NFL in the last year had more compelling arc than Bryce Young. From being benched to back in, from doubt to dominant, from whispered bust to full-blown believer campaign. He didn't fold. He didn't flinch. He found his footing, turned chaos into clarity. Now 2025 is his runway. It's his team, his coach, his offense, his city. It's time for you to take flight. It's time for you to take flight. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my story for Bryce Young. Is he the guy? I'm going to say this as well. I think that the energy in Charlotte will be different this offseason. which it already has been. I don't think it's desperate. I think some people are being a little delusional. I have seen that. We need to kind of tone down the delusional this, if that's even a word, but I just made it one. So, you know, it is what it is. Or just hopeful. Like, not that fake, every team has a chance hope. Like, I feel like this offseason, though, too, has been like the real deal. There's something that we have built something here. And that comes from watching Bryce Young a little bit last year, who got, again, a guy gets knocked down, gets back up. The kind that comes from just, from not just surviving the fire, but you got to walk out of it or with something in your hands. I mean, my God, a franchise quarterback, Bryce Young knows there's still doubters out there. So trust me, he knows all you guys out there. Okay. But frankly, he does he doesn't give a shit because he's not, because I don't think he's done as of right now where I see his trajectory. I think he's still going to be super calm. I think he's going to be super consistent, super focused. And probably, I hope he's still super blessed. But now he's also has to be super ready. Let's just see what happens next, man. Let's just see what happened next. That's it. Joshua Lilly says, there you go. You're at 6K. Jesus Christ. How the hell did you do that, Josh? Shout out to Josh in the chat, man. Yeah. We have reached 6,000 subscribers. We did it. We've reached 6,000 subscribers here at the Robstar Report.
Say right foot creep, walking with that heater. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see me. Catch them bad, walk down, face them with that heater.
All right, I had to hit him with that. I had to hit him with the gritty. I should have started hitting the gritty right on live. I don't know how good my gritty would be right now. I got a pretty solid gritty. I'll give myself that. Dude, shout out to you guys, man. Here's the 6K more. That's, dude, the goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to reach 10K before. I really wanted to reach 10K before the season start. I don't know if we're going to reach that. But if we don't reach 10K by the start of the season, definitely want to be at least like at 10K before the end of next season. Because I'm still going to be here breaking it down, my guys. I'll get you to 7K. Good Lord, Josh. If you give me to 7K, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with you, Josh? What am I going to do with you, my guy? Josh has got, next thing you know, I'm going to go to sleep tonight and I'm going to be at like 100,000 because of Josh. Josh is over here like throwing, creating like account after account. He's going to create like 7,000 emails. It's just going to be Josh. Josh is going to have like 7,000, 6,000 email accounts, and he's just going to have a bunch, and he's just going to subscribe with each and every one. That's so funny. That is so funny. But shout out to Josh, man. He's a true supporter. He's a true supporter. I appreciate that. What's up, Corey? What's up, my guy? How you doing? How you living? But yeah, man, I think, again, it's just like I said, I think the final thing that I have to say, and the only thing I have to say with Bryce is, like I said, man, like, prove you're the guy, and so we don't have to keep looking for the guy. That's it. When I start my channel, we'll collab, and I'll link up with some Bears and Lions Packer podcasters. I've got some of those guys, man, broski, with Roundtable Sports. I got connects with all of them, man. So if you need me to connect you with those guys as well, broski, I could also help you out. So whenever you start your channel, man, and man, I don't know what you're waiting on, broski, just to give you some, YouTube kind of content creation advice. Get started now. Don't wait. Just get started. I don't care if you have the shittiest equipment in the world. Just go ahead and start pumping out content. Now, I don't know what you got going on in your personal life, and I don't know what you got, how your work life is, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Go ahead and just go ahead and get started, though, man. Don't hold back. I just started out of nowhere. Never done YouTube. Never watched. Honestly, when I did my first YouTube video, never watched YouTube. Never watched. Just got on there and just started talking. I don't know. Honestly, if I go back and watch my, I bet you if I go back and watch my first YouTube video, I guarantee you it was awful. I guarantee you it was so bad. Probably makes me not, probably, it was, I know it was bad. My thumbnails were terrible. So bad. But you learn. You live and you learn when it comes to it. Want to reach 10K, start selling ass like the Saints do every year. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, let's see, Dan. Yeah. Okay, Clay. Yeah, I'm serious, broski. Just get started. Whether it's a short clip, whether it's a live stream, whether it's or you make a video and you edit and you post it. Just do it. I'll tell anybody who wants to get into content creation, just do it. Don't be scared. You're going to have critics. They're going to tell people you're ass. You're not any good. You sound dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. Just get started. Just get started. That's awesome, though. Yeah, I mean, JP, if I had enough ass to sell, I would. I'll tell you that. Are you trying to get me to start an OnlyFans? Trying to get me started on OnlyFans? Maybe some feet finders? Feet finders? You woke up in the morning to 4,000 subscribers. I would shit my pants, Josh. To be honest with you, I'd absolutely would demolish my pants if that happened. You know? I take that back. You'll wake up to 1 million subscribers. That'd be great. I quit my job. If he gets you 7,000 subscribers, buy him dinner. Dude, I will. I'll DoorDash him some food to his home. I would straight up do it. Now, I'd probably buy him a jersey or something, because I'm sure Josh would rather probably like have a jersey or something. Earl goes, game over. Oh man, chat, y'all been crazy tonight. Y'all been crazy. My next thing that I am going to be doing on this channel, though, is I have a stream deck. I got to learn how to use this stream deck so we can start doing some Madden content. That's what we need to do. Start doing like Panther rebuilds on here. So, plus we got merch coming. We got giveaways coming. I have a little hidden secret that might be able to happen this year. I'm not going to tell you guys yet. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. It has to do with something with training camp of the Panthers. That's all I'm going to say. I might be able to have some content for you guys. It has to do with training camp with the Carolina Panthers. I'm working on something. I'm working on some credentials with the NFL I'm trying to get those. If you know, I'm part of Roundtable Sports, so we might be able to get them. Not confirmed yet. Can't confirm nor deny. Do I have a console? Yes, I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox, Josh. I'm an Xbox guy. Make a franchise with everyone. You mean like do a rebuild with everyone? Yeah, I probably would. We could do it live we could do one every night. And that would be good off-season content too, on top of everything else. Because we could literally talk Carolina Panthers football or NFL in general, and then just watch me rebuild these teams. That's what I like doing with Madden anyways. I'm not the best Madden player in the world, but I like to rebuild franchises. That's what I like to do. Or I like to do like fantasy franchises. Or what I like to do is like kind of what if any of you guys have ever watched TD Barrett, he's like one of my favorite Madden YouTubers. But I like when he does the leagues where he like plays against like other people that like it's a league and he plays against other people and it's like he does the fantasy draft, and then if he loses a game, he has to give his best player to that person he lost to, or if he wins, he gets to take their best player. I like that. I like that kind of stuff. But if I play in a league, I'm getting my ass kicked. All right. I know enough about football, and I'm good at Madden. Like I can win some games against some good people, but I'm not gonna win. Like I probably am like a 500 player. Like I could win, but I could also get my ass kicked. That's where I'm at. And I play on all Madden. All right. I'm a 50-50 guy when it comes to Madden. NCAA, that's a different story, ladies and gentlemen. NCAA, I'll smoke. I'm good. I love NCAA. I can't wait until the new one comes out either. So, but we definitely need to get some content out there for some Madden for sure. Or some Madden content. That'd be fun. We definitely got to hook that up. Don34 was good, man. Appreciate you joining. I'm about to hop off here, though, guys. We've been live for over an hour and 20 minutes. I definitely need to get some shorts done for you guys, which I have not done lately. I don't know if I'm going to get them done tonight, but definitely going to get some short content out to you guys, man. Other stuff's coming, man. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream. Again, make sure you share this with your friends, your family. I greatly appreciate it. Also, I played the newest one, Josh. 25. But as always, guys, I appreciate y'all. As always, make sure you like, subscribe. We just hit 6,000 subscribers. I guess I got to give a shout out to Josh Lilly again for doing that. Again, just make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That's all I ask. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's continue to grow this channel, continue to grow this Robstar family. And so I can continue to bring you some more good raw content. All right. So I will see you guys on the other side. Possibly we'll see you tomorrow. As always, guys, keep pounding. Peace.